The other day I read the book on self-growth and empowerment, and in it was a very simple concept. The writer said, if you want to learn how to fly a plane, I suggest you take some classes. And I thought about it, and this reminded me of a situation that I encounter very often from people who want to learn how to balance better in general. It is they want to fly a plane first and take classes second. How am I going to learn how to fly in a classroom? Which is true. You do need to fly a plane in order to understand its dynamics and how to operate it. But at the same time, if you don't know how the controls work, it's going to be no good. It's not going to end well. So when it comes to what you may call easy drills, beginner and intermediate level drills, where it has more to do with two-arm handstand, clean lines, clean entries, clean exits, clean transitions, building strength, building stamina. All of these contribute to the end result, no matter what that end result is, be it a one-arm handstand, be it a press up, jump from hand to hand, whatever it is you're trying to do. Never feel like practicing beginner and intermediate level drills will only keep you going in circles. It's quite the opposite, actually. I had a student the other day who wanted to work on the jumps from one arm to the other. We worked on everything leading up to the jumps, and by the end of the session, I told my student that the only thing you really need to learn about the jump is the jump itself. By the time you arrive and you're supposed to hold a one-arm handstand, all of these things we went over today will be kicking in. So by working on less difficult drills, you are still contributing to your advanced level growth. For example, let's say you want to do a two-arm handstand, right? You say to yourself, okay, I want to learn how to stand on two arms because I saw somebody else doing it, it looked great, it looked cool, I want to be able to do it. So you go home, you kick up against the wall, you keep trying and trying and trying it, and either you are fueled to continue doing it or you grow disappointed and you leave it alone. And you think, well, this sucks, I can't do it, therefore I'm going to find something else cooler that I can do right away. In the case of two-arm handstand, I always want to teach a student how to get rid of anything that doesn't belong in the process and stick with the few alignments and motions that will get you to the right line, to the right position as soon as possible so that you could have the easiest time ever holding it. You may think that trying hard is the answer, but in this case, doing less is more. Because the more our body is moving, the more we need to try to contain it and control it, and the more energy it takes, and the quicker we grow tired. What is a high level of skill? It's a summary of the steps we've taken on the way to get there. If we have no recollection of the steps that we've taken, because we've been doing it for so long, we only remember ourselves as having the intermediate or advanced level. If we have no recollection of the steps we've taken, the skill will begin to decline. I've seen it in many successful, skilled athletes and artists and people of that sort, and myself including. So if you have no recollection of the steps you've taken, or if you have no understanding of the steps that are required on the way to get to having a full control of the skill, the end result will be further and further away. You may work extra hard and it'll still be just beyond your reach. You get one step ahead, it gets two steps even further. So whenever you come to the training session and you think, I I don't want to do my kick-ups, I don't want to do handstands against the wall, I don't want to work on my line, I'm just gonna work extra hard on my one-arm handstand. That's my goal. I don't want any of that other stuff. I can't relate to it. I just want to improve my one-arm handstand. I just want to do my press up. Whatever it is that you want to do, kicking up into a clean two-arm handstand and holding it there without wobble, you're contributing, you're creating body memory that you will refer to when you're learning how to transition onto one arm. Because one-arm handstand is not just about holding it. There's the way you get into a two-arm handstand. There's the way you transfer your weight onto one arm. There's the way you let go. There's the way you navigate the position itself when you're holding it, and then there's the exit and transition out of it as well. So each one of those stages requires practice, understanding, and familiarity with every single steps that you have to take. And so the more you practice the steps, the easier the thing itself will be. Therefore, when it comes to handstand training, I encourage you not to skip the layers. That means stretching well, that means trying to understand the way the symmetry works. It's trying to understand and learning how to make it all work together, how to stay present in the moment, how to be focused, how to not get distracted easily, and how not to give up in the process. Because a lot of the times we lose interest, or we feel like we cannot maintain our focus. If it doesn't happen right away, a lot of the time it discourages the student. And if somebody comes to me and I send them a number of questions because I want to determine, where they are, where they want to go, and based on that, based on those answers, I structure a class. And so if I see that the person wants to learn how to do one-arm handstand and how to, stand on their hands easy and how to float from position to position, that in my head, immediately, I go toward beginner and intermediate level drills, because wanting something is great, but at first I would like to see how well you handle the steps in order to work on the thing itself. Because if you're stumbling on the steps, then it's too early to work on the thing itself. You may work on it on your own, in your own time, but when we have a class, I'm gonna make sure that the steps towards the end result are as clean and as sure as possible, because without them, it's a waste of time. And it'll be frustrating for you, and it'll be frustrating for me to see you not being able to succeed when I know the path to get there. I want it to never be a puzzle that you cannot understand. It should never be a mystery. So I want to lift the veil of impossibility off of this skill and let you know that it's definitely possible. It's not some sort of unsolvable puzzle.